Hey guys, Sugar John coming at you with another Awaken Chaos Era video, guys. So today's video, what we're going to be talking about is going to be the hero stats, as well as some of the other tricky topics, such as like dodge and other abilities that each character has and grants that aren't necessarily laid out like in a clear-cut fashion. So we're not going to cover everything today, but we're only going to hit like a couple of the main ones, just because if we were to do everything, guys, that'd be a very long video. But I am going to show you where the resource is, so that way if you're curious, you can kind of dive into and figure out what is the character that's going to do what ability, what skill for you that may turn the tide or may help you with your team synergy that you're looking for. So first off, let's go ahead and let's pull up the index. Now, as most of you know, if you hit this index here, you do this a lot to go in here to hit this list and bonding. And this is how you get your gems and so on and so forth. There's another way to use this index that I feel like a lot of people are lacking and not knowing of how to do or use. So we're going to go ahead and show that right now because I feel like it makes the biggest difference. So, for example, if you hit this little search down here, you see hero rarity, the element stats, hero type, so on and so forth. But then there's also effects here, guys. So you have positive, you have negative, you also have other. Now, the other section is what we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on because this would literally take me forever to explain every other status that there is in the game, right? There's a lot of them. See, you have all of these different ones. These aren't your common statuses that everyone's used to, right? In most gacha games. However, a lot of these positive and negatives are. But one that we do want to talk about is such as like dodge. We want to talk about dodge, right? Dodge is a very talked about ability that not everyone fully understands. So I want to go ahead and go into like a hero, show you their stats, how to know if you have a good hero stats baseline. And then from there, I want to go into, okay, this is what dodge is and this is how dodge works and applies. Okay, so let's go ahead and get out of there. Let's pull up an index here. So let's go, for example, here. Let me pull somebody that I know like a lot of people are going to be going for. So let's see here. Let's find, who are we looking for, guys? Hydricia? Let's pull up Hydricia. I know she's one of those that everybody kind of wants a Hydricia, right? So there's a couple things we're going to talk about. One, yes, here's your character. This is one of the most sought after legendaries in the game, especially for beginning players. I want to talk about their stats real quick. So you will notice their stats here. And a lot of games, we don't necessarily know, like we're going off of memory, right? You're thinking a lot like, okay, well, how's that base attack, health, defense, speed? How does that really reflect, right? So what I want you to see here is that the stats, it actually tells you on the stats page where those stats lie in the spectrum, like the wide spectrum. That is every character's stats. So for example, Hydricia is an S-class attack unit with B ranked health defense, C tier speed, and A tier crit rate. Now, one thing to note is it's the A tier crit rate, and that's 8%. So that means, maybe S tier is going to be like close to like 10, 11%, right? So this is something to keep in mind if you're curious. So I do have a tier list. We did a tier list with Chosen, a good friend of ours, Chofly Elite. I'll probably end up doing another video on that. I'm working on getting some stuff ready for that tier list because we're going to update it from, tier list 2.0 because now we're in soft launch into 2.5 because I got a few more things I want to add to it. But yeah, for example, like if you don't have access to that tier list, I'll put a link down below for one. And for two, if you just want to have a general idea, like, okay, I'm struggling on this. Should I build this character? Well, here's a good way to tell if their stats are going to be decent. It's just by looking at their stats page. And it'll straight up tell you, like, here's where they specialize, right? So notice like Molhex. Molhex is another very good unit. I believe at 10 on my tier list, actually. And notice that his attack is A rank, his defense is A rank, his speed and crit rate are both B rank, which isn't bad. And his health is S rank, and he's a health-based character, if I remember correctly. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's not a health-based character. Just kidding. Just kidding. But either way, very good stats, and it tells you that they're very good stats from the beginning. So you don't have to decipher this, right? You're not looking at this and going, man, I don't know if this character's any good. I don't know if these stats are worth it. I mean, the game just straight up, it'll tell you. It'll tell you exactly what it is. Savannah, example, she's very, very strong attack damage dealer, S rank attack. So already starts off with a high base attack. So another thing to keep in mind with this is, like, for example, let's go to my own heroes, guys, so you can kind of see how I use it. So notice, like, Zatlux, right? Zatlux, you only need 70% crit rate on Zatlux for him to crit every time because of his passive ability right here. Granted, this is booked up. You do have to book it up to the 30%, okay? But I know that his attack is A tier, not S tier, which sucks, but it's A tier. And that tells me that it's okay to go ahead and stack attack on him because I'm gonna get that good range, right? So all of your gear, when you put attack percent gear, like this boot here, it's attack percent, this scales off of the character's main abilities right here, off this main stats right here. It does not scale on the overall. So it doesn't matter that you put this on here and this is 23% more. This doesn't mean that if you put another piece of gear on there, it's their base attack plus the 23, so on and so forth. This only goes off of their initial stats right here. So this also is why this is helpful, like just knowing this A, C, B, because this will tell you, like, where do they rank as far as the stats go in the tier. If this is a character I want to build, you know, like, should I be building this character or should I go build this other one? And you don't know for sure. Like, you don't have access to the resource or to the tier list. You don't know how the synergy is going to work correctly, and you're just kind of taking a blind guess. Well, this is a good way and a good notice of, like, okay, I can go ahead and I can go off of these stats here, and this will give me a decent idea if this character is going to be worth my time or not, right? Next thing we want to talk about is stats. So when you pull this up here, guys, these are your primary stats here. So you will notice there is, I think, 10 different stats here. I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, there is 10 stats that get listed for every single character. Now, this does not mean that those 10 stats are the only stats that affect each character. And that's another really, really important thing that I want to bring up today, and that's going to be the other part of this video. And the reason why I'm showing you that index is because there's stats that don't get shown and don't get descripted that can take a little bit of a role into the matter of fighting, right? Things are going to happen in a fight and you're going to go, I don't know what happened there. I don't know what I did to accomplish this. Well, so let's go ahead and show you what I mean by that. So if we go into index, one of the strongest characters in the game right now is Lydia. And when I say one of the strongest, I mean, she's not God tier, right? She's not like the end all be all and whatnot, but she's very, very good. And the reason why is because, I mean, look at her stats. She has S rank attack, again, very good, right, for a damage dealer. B's and both health, defense, and speed, not terrible. Crit rate 8% already starting out. So she has the makings of a great damage dealer. But the thing that makes her dangerous is this trait here, this dodge plus 20%. Now, when I hit more stats, do you guys see dodge on there? Absolutely, you do not, and you never will. So that's the thing. I shouldn't say you never will. Maybe the devs will change this eventually. I feel like they should. Like, any stat that can be affected in the game really should be displayed on their detailed stats, so that way you know exactly what goes into their kit and through their skills. Because we don't have a clear-cut explanation of what dodge is, but we know what dodge is, right? We've asked the devs, we've asked, we've done testing, and we kind of know what dodge is. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and explain it to you. So dodge is literally what it sounds. It has a 20% chance of dodging the enemy's incoming attack. Now, a lot of you will say, well, that's fine. I mean, just, isn't that the same thing as like resistance, so on and so forth? Not really, because resistance is resistance. That's the chance for a effect coming in to be resisted and not like damage not calculated. Dodge is the chance that it doesn't matter what's coming at them, it's just gonna miss 20%. So it's kind of like, think of it as like rolling the dice on an incoming attack. Like, you have, not only do you have, so let's say you have a first crit rate or first line of defense of dodge 20%. So you roll the dodge 1 in 5 odds, you're not going to take attack. And then secondly, then you come into it's like, okay, well, I have a resistance now, so I'm not going to take like the negative status effect, like a defense down or attack down, so on and so forth. But you're still going to take damage. Dodge is literally going to let you negate everything because you're just not going to get hit. Now, there's not a whole lot of characters that have dodge, and that's where that's why I was showing you how the index works. Because you may be thinking like, oh, well, that's really cool. Dodge is really, really OP, right? Well, it is and it's not. So as you can see here, Lydia is the only water unit that has dodge. Secondly, we have Vidar. He can place dodge on a teammate. I believe it's A2. Yep, A2. So A2 is pretty strong. Defense up, second tier, so that's plus 50% defense. And dodge up for 3 turns, and dodge up is 15%. So this means up to 15% of the time, your characters can roll the dice and not take damage. And this is for just himself, right? So that means Vidar himself can place this ability and dodge attacks. Now, the reason why he has this is because he has a taunt. So that's why he does really, really well as a CC character, is because he can do a taunt, he can have dodge up, and he'll be able to roll the dice every time. And what is that? 15% of the time, he'll always miss and not take damage. And he's going to kind of reduce their crit rate by 30%. I hate this ability. I really wish this would go away. Crit rate down, crit damage down is not, to me, that's not a viable ability. I feel like that's a waste of a debuff. So don't ever get hoodwinked by that. But this defense, this dodge and defense up ×2 is very, very good. But yeah, these are the only 2 characters that can sit there and do this effect. Now, something else to note is there is other abilities that can kind of counter that. Okay, so let's go find them. So let me think here. Where is it? I think is it accuracy down? No, it's where is ZT-Lin? I need Zitlin. That's who I need. Also, I'm sorry. I apologize if I butcher his name, guys. I don't know what we're calling him. I really don't. He's got a pretty simple name, but it does not roll off the tongue, unfortunately. Where did he go? I know I've passed him already here multiple times. I have the character. There he is. Dragon Scale Marsh. So nope, not Delay Fate. His pass. No. Precision. He has precision. Where is it? Accuracy and precision. Okay. So when you go in here, right? Accuracy is not on the list. Precision is, right? This prevents attacks from being deflected. This literally means that people will not be able to resist. Like, that's negative affinity. Attack still lands, doesn't deflect, okay? However, his precision, right? Minus 30 precision. What's precision do? Precision is the being deflected. His passive here, accuracy and precision. Accuracy is not listed, but accuracy is the same thing as your dodge, essentially. So plus 20% dodge means that 1 out of 5 times you can avoid that damage. Plus 20% accuracy is basically 20% of the time your attack's always going to land regardless of their stats. Okay. It doesn't matter if it's, they have the resistance, if they have the whatever, whatever it is, the decision, the resistance, if their, precision is too low, whatever the case may be. Like, say, for example, he wanted to attack a water unit, right? Chances are his curse debuff shouldn't land. Well, his accuracy plus 20%, that's a roll of the dice 1 out of 5 times. His build is going to land. That's how accuracy works. So that's where things get a little goofy, because these things aren't listed in the actual stats tree. So a lot of people are like, I don't understand how this works. So by coming in here, you can get an idea of how it works. You can, message us, message the devs to kind of get a better idea of how some of these work for you. But it does make a big difference by having this here, because you can go, okay, well, when you go to the stat itself on the character, they do a halfway decent job of explaining what stats do what. Like, for example, Splash here, right? Splash, like, Rock has a splash damage ability. What is it? His passive, right? I think, yeah. So when attacking, there's a 30% chance to combo and deals 50% damage to all enemies, right? Now, this is like a splash ability here. So this is a little different than what you're used to. But it's okay because, I mean, it is clearly listed here. I thought they actually had it as a pop-out as well. But does not appear like they don't actually have that as a pop-out. Which is unfortunate because that's kind of like, that makes things a little easier when you can just say, like, hey, this is exactly what it is. But they do have it listed here, so under other, you can come down, you can see exactly what each and every one, like who has this ability. Like joint attacks here. Yes, joint attacks, I know that does not have a symbol on it. So like William, he's got really known for it. On his A1, launches a joint attack. And so on and so forth. So that index will help you find all these stats and different abilities. But keep in mind, guys, always pay attention to these because just because you look at a character's kit, doesn't mean that they're the worst, the best. You need to really take a minute, figure it out, look at everything they can do. And if you're curious, okay, who can counter them? Go in here to the index and go look. And go look if there's a counter, right? That's the biggest thing, the biggest piece of advice I can give you. That's the whole reason for the video is I wanted to go up. I wanted to explain to you what the difference of stats are if you're trying to build a character. What abilities each character can use that are very, like what their potential is, how to understand them. And the biggest thing to keep in mind is your, like dodge for Lydia, accuracy down to, guys, like I just explained how accuracy works. It's funny that Lydia has an accuracy down as well as part of her kit because it does the same exact thing where it will make it to where everyone has a chance to miss hit landing and attack on her. So that means that she really gets, like 35% of dodge, essentially, right? But yeah, guys. That's going to be it for the video. I hope this helped you. I hope you understand a little bit more how dodge works. If not, I do stream Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, 8 p.m. EST, as well as on Saturday mornings. I stream about 11 a.m. EST. Come by, ask questions, leave comments, concerns down the video. Like, if you got questions about how this works, if you think I inaccurately explained this, let me know. I'd love to hear you guys' feedback. But yeah, we're pushing like 17 minutes on this video, guys. It's way too long, a lot longer than I wanted to. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and end it. And I will see you guys on the next one. So until then, guys, peace.